What popular saying is actually bullcrap? Hard work never killed anyone. Coal miners would like to have a word. Tell that to the Japanese. It doesn't matter who started it. Of course it effing does. Even legally, the concept of who did what first is recognized as vital. I've always hated that phrase in school. What the hell did they expect the second to do? Get hit by the bully? Fun story, in high school I was bullied daily, by the same girls. It went on for months. I did everything you're supposed to do. My principal's advice was to get an older student to walk around with me. They finally cornered me and beat me up. I was suspended because I was involved in a fight. They used the "doesn't matter who started it" line on me too. It was my fault because I just happened to get my ass kicked that day. Yeah, this is one of the most illogical, brain-damaged and nonsensical lines I have ever heard. It doesn't matter who started it? Like, okay, let's apply this logic to World War II. Does it make sense? Of course it effing doesn't, and I don't know why it should. I agree. I'm still mad about it, and I've been out of high school for 10 years. Of course it matters, they're just too lazy to figure out who started it. Just blame punish everyone instead. The zero-tolerance policy has screwed over so many students that just defended themselves. If you tell me the truth, you won't get into trouble. One of bosses said this to me when I was hired. Don't ever lie to me. Tell me the truth, and I'll cover it up. Tell me the truth so I know how to lie for you. Best boss I've ever had. I'd still get in trouble, but it would be minor compared to what the higher-ups would have done. Haha, I tell that to all my crew and guys when they're hired. If you F up, tell me, don't hide it. I know what we can get away with and what we can't. I don't mind when people screw up and let me know, shows they're willing to try. I hate people that sit on their hands and look confused and wait for someone else to tackle it. I tell my 7-year-old son, if you tell me the truth, the punishment isn't as bad. When he follows through, he still gets punished, but I explain what would have happened if he lied. Tell the truth? 10 minutes time out in the corner. Lie? Grounded for the entire night. Works pretty well. This is better. Teaching honesty instead of encouraging a good lie will pay off far better during false accusation situations of all severities. I don't want him scared of telling the truth, even if it's something I'd be mad about. If he's scared now, I could only imagine the stuff he'll try as a teenager. Top 10 anime betrayals. Looks don't matter. They do. Not always, not completely, but they very much do matter. Humans are kind of superficial in that regard. If you are going to be a criminal, be an attractive one. You'll be punished far less. It's pretty messed up when you see all the research about the bias. It is everywhere, so that is more than bullcrap. It is an outright delusional lie. Web link. My niece was a prime example of this. In an attempt to sound as non-creepy as possible, my niece hit the genetic lottery. I'm sure you can figure out what I mean by that. She was hot, she knew it, and she took advantage of it every chance she got. She bragged about it. She was constantly in trouble with the law, and benefited from pretty white girl syndrome. She was constantly given probation for things that would have gotten any other girl thrown in juvenile hall/jail because she made sure to show up to court with one extra button unbuttoned, makeup looking perfect, and when that didn't work, turning on the waterworks and promising that this time she'll really never do it again. Her crimes included everything up to and including helping her boyfriend steal a car. He went to jail. She got probation. Again. Sadly, she had absolutely no idea how to mentally handle it when pretty white girl didn't work anymore. She was in her early 20s, and was convicted of armed robbery. She was given a sentence of, I think, 10 years and ended up committing suicide barely a month into it. I'm going to guess she couldn't handle whatever hell she experienced in prison. Her pretty white girl syndrome and genetics probably played a hand in how much better/worse it was for her, though. I used to be 400 pounds when I was in my 20s. A few years ago I hit around 180, and the amount of doors that opened were insane. Everyone was suddenly nicer to me, I was able to find jobs with ease, and just everything was easier. Looks definitely matter. Congrats, dude. That must have taken so much discipline and hard work. I lost about 70 pounds in my early 20s, and it was so weird that people literally opened doors for me as a skinny person, whereas before that never happened. People would literally let doors slam in my face as a fat woman. I went from being invisible to gathering constant attention just going about my day. Total mind F at the time. Edit, a typo. Have to agree. Lost 93 pounds over the last 18 months, and it's unbelievable how differently people treat you. I read the book Survival of the Prettiest 20 years or so ago, changed my worldview. One thing of note, she posits that being good-looking usually helps, but at some point, being really good-looking starts to worsen your outcomes. Edit for spelling of prettiest. Opposites attract. They don't. Birds of a feather flock together, on the other hand, is usually true for relationships. I came in to post this. The opposites attract sentiment only stands up on a superficial level. When you probe deeper, you always discover there is a lot of commonality. My mom and dad look like chalk and cheese on the surface, but below all of that they are wired very similarly. I thought my wife and I to be pretty different people. We don't share a lot of common interests. But it's the subsurface stuff that just continually made me realize how alike we are. And then I got an outside perspective recently when a coworker said we talked the same. He insists one of us must have learned it from the other, but maybe it was just another commonality. My wife and I share core values, but we couldn't be more different. However, our differences complement each other. Where I'm weak, she is strong, etc. Yin and yang. She is highly organized and will schedule every aspect of a vacation a year in advance. You'll have to remind me a week before that we're going on vacation. However, when a plan falls apart, so does she. Luckily, I'm the opposite and I am highly adaptable to whatever is currently going on. So she might plan out every aspect of a road trip, but if a tire goes flat, she's in total panic mode, but I'll get us back on the road, even though I only vaguely know where we are supposed to be going. This is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. Lies. This is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. Breaks own leg. Congratulations. You were right. How does it feel? My grandmother said that to my dad once, when he was a kid, before a spanking. When she pulled her arm back for the first swing, she accidentally whacked the radiator and broke her hand. It really did hurt her more than it did him. My mom was trying to find me as a child once on our property and couldn't. We had a big property, and I was in imagination land outside. When she found me, she ruthlessly decided to vent her frustrations by turning my over the old me. My mom liked a good skin-on-skin session, so she pulls my pants down and starts to go to town. She doesn't make it far into town before realizing something is different this time. It seems to be more interactive, if you will. In her blind rage, she didn't take the time to be aware of her surroundings. She got a case of tunnel vision. If she had been more present, she would have noticed that when she found me I was standing in a weird corner with my legs crossed, pinching a poop. Well, needless to say, yet completely worth saying, my mom tried to spank the crap out of me and didn't notice I was already halfway there. With a scream, reality hit her and she realized she had poo all over her hand and banished me from her presence. I've never been more relieved. TLDR, Mom tried to spank the crap out of me, didn't realize I was halfway there. Her righteous hand of God went from delivering justice to crap shovel in a matter of about 4 smacks. Good things come to those who wait. Try waiting your whole life and see what comes to you. As an impatient person, I've always taken this as put in the work and then don't F it up rushing. I feel like I learn this lesson daily. I'm going to save this comment. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. It might keep the doctor away, but the psych ward never has enough apples to keep 5 big orderlies and a nurse with a needle away. That's what happens when you go bananas. I've tried to ward my house to the best of my abilities, apples near each door and window, apple-scented candles, maintaining a constant supply of apples and apple products in my kitchen. Nothing works. The doctors. They are relentless. They're clever, systematically searching for a breach in my defenses. When I close my eyes, I can feel their icy stethoscopes. I just ate my first apple today, But it is all in vain. The ache in my knees from their mallets warns me they are drawing near. I took an apple from my kitchen to carry with me around the house. I sat down on my couch, only to hear the crinkle of wax paper beneath me. I caught a glimpse of a white coat outside my window. I wanted to believe it wasn't real, but my worst fears were realized when I heard the murmur of what seems to be the problem here, today. They're here. If this isn't copy pasta, it should be. I've tried to ward my house to the best of my abilities, lamb sauce near each door and window, oregano-scented candles, maintaining a constant supply of onions and kitchen products in my kitchen. Nothing works. The Gordon Ramsays. They are relentless. They're clever, systematically searching for a breach in my defenses. When I close my eyes, I can feel their icy spatulas. I just ate my first garlic today, but it is all in vain. The ache in my knees from their meat tenderizers warns me they are drawing near. I took an onion from my kitchen to carry with me around the house. I sat down on my couch, only to hear the crinkle of aluminum foil beneath me. I caught a glimpse of a white coat outside my window. I wanted to believe it wasn't real, but my worst fears were realized when I heard the murmur of why is it effing raw? They're here. Practice makes perfect. I had a teacher that used to point out that no, practice makes permanent. If you practice something in an incorrect way, you're going to perform incorrectly. My football coach used to say practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. My hockey coach used to say that. My karate sensei also liked to say that. It's just how I am. Well, you're a effing vagina, change your behavior and act like a decent human. Edit. Whoa, thanks for the awards. Came here to say this. Well, that's just how he is. Yeah, and that's the only metric I have to judge them by. Hey, I'm blunt, I tell it how it is. You tell it like you're a butthole. Edit. To folks who think the only other option is lying, it's not. You can tactfully tell people the truth, if that truth is indeed needed. My mouth doesn't have a filter. Then you're just rude to people and pass it off as a personality trait. Stop. Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg are college dropouts, dude. They went to Harvard, not community college. And Bill Gates dropped out because he was seeing enough success from what he was already doing. Harvard couldn't keep up with Gates, not the other way round. Imagine being able to say, yeah, I didn't really need Harvard education to be honest. Or Einstein wasn't good in school, he was a very good student with good marks. The dude finished calculus in grade 4 and people keep bringing up his art subject failure in grade 1 and 2 like I feel bad for Albert, he tried his best. That feeling when you discover that time and space are one thing, but also your macaroni art when you were 8 was crap tier trash. Einstein, I'd love to learn to paint, but I don't have the space or time. Z's noodles just won't. They don't effing stick. That probably stems from Germans looking at his Swiss high school diploma grades. Germany grades 1, best, to 6, worst, while Switzerland is exactly the other way round. Now guess who had straight 6s in all 3 mathematics courses as well as physics? Web link. There's a segment in Cosmos 2 where Sagan mentions some teacher saying he'd never amount to anything. I think there's a satisfaction people have for these kind of ironies. Like the world-famous comedian who tells his audience that one of his teachers said he'd never make anything of himself acting the clown the whole time, especially where the individual is a teacher, people who have authority and power over us. It's not dissimilar to people like Bill Gates supposedly saying 640K is enough for anyone, or chairman of IBM saying there's a worldwide market for 2 computers, that kind of thing that, with hindsight and taken out of context, we can say wow, this guy was a twat. Survivorship bias. Sure, they're college dropouts, but so are 500,000 other guys working as a cashier at 7-Eleven. This. Same as when celebrities tell you to follow your dreams. Yeah. It worked out for them. But for every Tom Cruise, there are 10,000 people who didn't make it. Lottery winners will tell you that lottery tickets are a great investment. But for every Tom Cruise, there are 10,000 people who didn't make it. Exactly, even when it comes to TV stars. Just look up IMDb of characters in TV shows you are watching, even the main characters. Many of these people have been acting for decades, one episode at a time for a different show each time with a range of minor roles. The reason I say to look at the main characters also is many of them did the same for decades before landing the main role in whatever show you are watching. Then, look at how many of them ever make it to film stars. Then think back to shows you watched 10 years ago, look up the main characters from them. Many of them will not have done anything remotely as important since. What I am saying is that, even on the steps of the ladder close to Tom Cruise, there are still hundreds if not thousands of people who want to claim every one top spot to become a well-known name tag/brand, etc. Also, a lot of them have parents who worked in the industry. That seems to be pretty common among politics and financial industries too. Money can't buy happiness. Poverty can't buy anything. I say money can't buy happiness, but I'm certainly a lot happier when I have money. Money can generally eliminate most of the things that are making you unhappy. That won't guarantee happiness, but it will make it a lot easier to achieve. Yes. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy comfort and stability, both of which can provide happiness. I love Daniel Tosh's joke about money can't buy you happiness. Have you ever seen someone look sad on a jet ski? Having money's not everything, not having it is. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.